Participate in an immersive art experience. Anila Quayyum Agha is an artist and she has a new exhibit opening at the Cummer Museum. Welcome to First Coast Living.
Thank you.
It's so nice to meet you.
I'm thrilled to be back.
So it's called Flight Patterns. Tell us about it.
So there are two large-scale installations, part of the show, as well as some additional multimedia work. And the immersive pieces reflect shadows on the surrounding walls. And
oh yeah, we're seeing some of that now. How beautiful.
Thank you.
It's pretty unique.
And I selected the wall colors based on the city itself, Jacksonville. And I just wanted to kind of give you a little short sort of synopsis on what the work is about. I make work that reflects my environment. It's often about what's happening politically or socially within the country or the global politics that I live within. And so this works, the two works that you're going to see, one is titled A Beautiful Despair, and the second piece is This Is Not a Refuge. And both pieces sort of talk about the idea of how isolation during the pandemic created a lot of distance between communities.
Right.
And so The Beautiful Despair is about that, the hope and despair combined together over the last 2 to 3 years. And then the This Is Not a Refuge piece reflects on the idea of let's not tarnish the idea of the United States because it allows people to come in.
Right.
And so it's an inclusive country, and it should reflect that. And so the work really talks about that little White House on the top of the hill that you look at when you're coming to the U.S., thinking that you're going to be able to do that eventually.
Right. Yeah, the American dream, right?
Yes.
What is your background as an internationally acclaimed artist, though? Give us a little background.
So I was born and raised in Pakistan. I've been in the U.S. now 23 years. I went to art school there, and I did my graduate studies here in the U.S., in Texas. And you know, I've been lucky enough to show my work all over the world. And I'm just truly grateful that people enjoy what I do.
Yeah, it is beautiful from what I've seen so far. So I'm going to have to go, excuse me, check it out in person. But your experience, obviously, as an immigrant, how has that shaped your artwork?
Well, you know, when people come to a new place, it's often really hard to become part of the environment.
Right.
And one speaks differently because I have an accent. And so people often assume that I don't understand. They'll talk loud to me, things like that.
Yeah.
And those are moments in my life that I think about, and I kind of realize that it's not that people are unkind or not compassionate. I think it's just that people generally fear change, and I act as a change agent. And so once people get to know me, they realize I have a sense of humor, I'm able to speak English quite effectively.
Yes, I can understand you just well, or just fine. Sometimes I struggle with my own language, so, but that's wonderful that, I mean, I'm hoping that it's been a positive experience for you
I
overall.
think after 9/11, it went down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the next 5 to 7 years were a little more difficult. But it's also the life of an artist. You know, you're struggling, you're trying to find meaning in your life and trying to make meaningful work with limited resources. Once I graduated from grad school, it was like, you know, being on your own with no money coming in, trying to figure it out. And so those times, I think, were difficult. But then I think, in my opinion, most immigrants are often very resilient people because they've survived the journey across. They've survived the displacement of losing friends, family, locations, home.
And dealing with different
Yeah.
prejudices and overcoming all
Yeah.
of that. And I'm so glad that you have been able to do that and bring us some beautiful artwork at the Cummer Museum. Thank you so much
My
for
pleasure.
joining us today.
I'm really
Flight
thrilled to
patterns.
be here.
Yes, so excited. I had some fun with you today.
Thank
and if
you.
you'd like to see this interview again, just head to our website, and that's firstcoastliving.net.